New business news from around the globe.
Yeah, Winter Olympics. It's amazing to think it's underway. So I seem to remember when they awarded the Winter Olympics to Sochi, it seems so far
away
in the future.
Yes.
And Yannick Naud is with us. Sorry, Yannick, come in. What did you say?
Yes, I'm going there next week.
Are you?
Yes.
Fantastic. Are you competing? What's your event?
No, I'm not competing. But it was a competition just to attend. It was difficult enough.
Okay, we'll talk to you about that. Yannick Naud is with us, ladies and gentlemen. More from him in a few moments' time. Also, plenty of other things coming up on the show. A tough week for social networking stocks, right?
Ouch.
Disappointing outlook from LinkedIn has sent shares lower after hours. This after Twitter lost a quarter of its value on Thursday's session. We'll check in on that.
We also head out to Mumbai to get a read on what to expect from India's latest GDP reading, where growth is expected to accelerate.
Perseus Telecom, is that how you say it? Perseus? We'll find out. Perseus Telecom, the latest firm to start accepting payments in bitcoins. We'll be out in Chicago later on in the show to catch up with the company's CEO and find out why he's betting on the virtual currency.
And GM's Mary Barra wins the top spot in Fortune magazine's most powerful businesswomen list. But is she being paid a lot less than her male predecessor? We'll be digging into that story a little bit later on.
Yeah, we'll drive it through for you.
Oh,
first,
nice.
It's Friday.
Some form.
And because it's Friday, that means one thing. First Friday of the month, the January jobs report is due. Forecast calling for a rise in non-farm payrolls in the US of 189,000. With the impact of the bad weather expected to cloud the reading, will we get any really clear idea of the health of the US economy? As we saw, Yannick Naud is with us, portfolio manager at Sturgeon Capital. Good to see. I prefer to talk about the Olympics, actually, but we'll come on to that. We'll come on to that. How much store are we going to set by the US economic data at the moment?
Well, I mean, right now the market really want to have some clear indication about the strength of
they might have to go begging
about the American economy. I mean, because what's happened since the beginning of the year, we need to have some clear indication. So usually this number is the number that provides a good indication, a good good direction for the market. Having said that, as you noted, this number will be difficult to guess and very difficult to read because of a lot of different factors. The weather, obviously, the change, the fact that the unemployment benefit stopped in January, and you have the way it will be computed will be slightly different from last year because they change it every year. So all in all, a very difficult number to predict and to read.
Let's not bother with it.
Is that not the point?
Let's not bother with it.
Direction, the direction that we're heading in, rather than just one individual data point.
I mean, if you look at the American economy in the last 2 years, they've been creating something like 173, 175,000 jobs every month. We had a very bad number in December. I think we might see a rebound above 200,000 for this year, and it will be interesting to see this number as well as private employment.
So what's worse for emerging markets right now, a good number or a bad number?
Well, I mean, I think the tapering, will continue regardless of the number. I don't forecast, at least in the US, any increase of interest rates. So I don't think there will be even a stronger economy should not have a greater impact in terms of yield curve.
It is extraordinary looking at the yield curve. 3% at the beginning of the year.
Yes.
On Monday, we're down at 2.57%.
Yes. Yes, and in Europe we 1% lower than that, at least for the bond. So all in all, one of the best performing assets this year has been the government bond market.
For now. Right, elsewhere, we've had a couple of earnings reports out this morning. ArcelorMittal, the world's biggest steelmaker, is impressing investors with its outlook. The firm says European demand for steel will increase this year, ending 2 years of declines. Yannick, I know you've got some thoughts on this one. It's your top pick in the sector.
Yes. Explain
why.
Well, I mean, Arcelor is geared towards the recovery in the developed market, and it's what we think. We think the economy will grow by more than 3%. European economy, we saw it in UK. We start to see some sign in the Eurozone, except maybe for France or Italy, will grow. Japan is growing, and all in all, ArcelorMittal is 45% Europe, 27% States, and it will be the company in the steel industry that will benefit the most if there's a rebound from developed markets.
How much does it matter what happens with the Chinese steel industry or not?
Chinese steel industry is a big industry. You have to keep in mind that it's a very inefficient industry, and it's a very polluting industry. We having see some sign since September last year that in fact the government really want to tackle the pollution problem, and therefore we could see a lower production, less increase of production in China in order not to pollute as much as before. And therefore it should be beneficial for Arcelor.
Raw material costs, currency effects, all these things come into play.
Yes.
As well. You just get the sense that they'll cope with those, and we...
Well, if the iron ore price dropped dramatically, we could see a final buyer of steel just holding off and for a softer price. But as long as the steel price stays strong, and so far it's not too bad, Arcelor should do okay. If you look at the balance sheet, they have been doing, I think there's a reduction of 5.2 billion euro in terms of debt. All in all, slowly, it's nothing glamorous, but in terms of this cost cutting going through, and as long as they don't commit to any large new investment, I think Arcelor should be able to squeeze larger profit out of what they sell.
Especially what you said though about China in particular, because they did downgrade their forecast for China and Brazil. So, but Yannick, you're staying with us. We're going to quickly move on to another story. In Germany's Constitutional Court has referred a complaint about the ECB's bond buying programme, the OMT, to the European Court. The news sending the euro lower in trading this morning, as you can see, around